Hey guys, a couple of years back I got dispatched to a nursing home to transport a patient who was ventilator dependent. Upon arrival, I find this patient with difficulty breathing, needed suctioning, and I didn't know how to suction because he had a tracheostomy and the vent tube was attached to the tracheostomy, and this person was bedbound, quadriplegic. I remember it like it was yesterday. I was working with VJ in Mount Vernon, New York, and this was my first tour as a New York State paramedic. I was scheduled to work in Brooklyn, but I couldn't wait for the day to come. So what I did was I picked up the next available tour, which was in Mount Vernon, Brooklyn, the Mount Vernon base for TransCare. Some of you might know. When we show up, I didn't know how to suction. This was literally my first paramedic job. And as soon as I saw the patient be bedbound, quadriplegic, ventilator dependent, and literally dependent on me, I almost fainted. I got nauseous, I got lightheaded, caught cold sweats, and almost fainted from the thought of this human being in my hands and relying on me to put in the correct ventilator setting, assist control, tidal volume, PEEP, respiratory rate. And I say that to say this. The first thing I did was get a respiratory therapist to help me with the patient, because obviously they're a respiratory therapist, they know about it more. She deep suctioned the patient. Seeing the patient gag really almost brung up the vomit when the patient was like crazy. But eventually I snapped out of it and transported the patient where they needed to go, and everything went smooth. But the reason why I'm sharing this story is because the first time you do any job, it's always going to be the worst time. For example, your first gunshot wound victim is going to be the job where you make the most mistakes on the gunshot wound. Your first cardiac arrest is going to be the job where you make the most mistakes on the cardiac arrest. Whenever you see a paramedic or an EMT just flowing through life, they're flowing through these tours, flowing through these jobs with no problem, it's because they've done it before. So don't pedestalize the EMT, pedestalize the work that they put in. And secondly, always remember that if it's your first time getting a certain type of call assignment, it's going to be one where you're not the best at. For example, till this day, I have not done a needle decompression. And I know it's not going to be as smooth as it is with all the other types of jobs that I've done on a regular basis. But the way you remedy that is keep it cool, be familiar with your protocols, read them often, know them, and then when it comes time to execute them, then do it to the best of your ability using the help of someone who's near you that knows more than you, kind of like me when I got the respiratory therapist. All right, guys? So your first job is most likely not going to be the smoothest one. And if you can, lean on someone to help you. All right, guys? I hope this helps. Peace.